How's it going, guys? Reese here, Man United podcast. Welcome back. If anybody is watching who's been watching before, there's only one person watching. It's probably somebody I know. But yeah, I've missed. Yeah, I've really missed doing this. So I'm looking forward to doing this. Merry Christmas to everyone, by the way. Christmas Day, my kids are opening stuff and running up and down the stairs and opening presents and doing everything in one day, which is great, and food later on. So looking forward to that. Hope everyone else is having a good time as well. Got what you want. Yeah, and just have a good day. So straight into it, really. I just, like I say, it's I've been gone about a week and a bit. Just really didn't feel up to it with all the COVID stuff going on and the games getting cancelled and all that kind of stuff. Really, just kind of set me back a little bit in terms of doing this, and felt a little bit off it. Really, I haven't been trying to ignore COVID as much as I possibly can. Still following the rules, obviously, but we just kind of really set everybody back. And when games started getting cancelled, and there was kind of murmurs that they were going to pretty much cancel football altogether up until the end of the year, it was just really lost a little bit of motivation. Obviously, there was quite a lot of United players who were out because of COVID as well. I think there was something like 19 players or something daft that were sort of in close contact or had it, which is the reasons that obviously the games had to be cancelled. So, but yeah, we're back at it on Monday, on the Boxing Day, which will be great. Get some games to see a bit of football, get half the squad back as well, not just from COVID, but just generally back from injuries. We've obviously got Varane back, which is a massive bonus. Pogba's not quite ready, apparently. Is that more mental than it is physical? You just don't know with Pogba. Obviously, there was word that he was going to be returning to football in the new year after Christmas. The injury to put him out till the new year. So, it is what it is. We don't want to rush him back, obviously, if he wants to carry on playing and carry on playing for Man United. So we'll talk a little bit about the formation. It's a tough one. He's got a lot of players back that he didn't have originally, Rangnick, since he's taken over, with Varane coming back in and some other players coming back from injury, Martial getting a bit, getting back to fitness as well. But obviously a lot of talk about Martial now handing his transfer request in and really unhappy, and his agent's been quite vocal as well. So generally, overall, not a great situation, and not one you want to see. Obviously, when players do move on, you want them to, go under a good light, go in good terms, go mutually, rather than it be a situation where the player's forcing the club's hand, or it be the other way around, and then the fans getting on his back. Obviously, his performances have been pretty poor for the last 18 months, 2 years. Last season, they weren't great. The season before, they were good. Him and Rashford were on fire the season before last. But he then didn't follow that up with a good season last season, and a few injuries hampered him a little bit in between. But whether it's the system that we play that doesn't suit him, whether it's just his attitude, I'm not sure with Martial. But overall, I like him as a player. I can see a player in him. I can see his talent. And it's just a shame it's not really worked out. And he's not young anymore. He's 25, is he? Coming to 26 next, I think. That's not particularly at the young end of the spectrum in terms of a footballer now. At a big club, he needs to be sort of doing it now. He's in sort of the prime years of his career. So does he feel as if, he needs to be now trying to get regular team football? And what I would say about strikers a little bit, and to back Martial up a small bit, is that you do need a bit of confidence. You do need a bit of repetition. Some games you won't have the best of days. You won't touch the ball barely. You'll not get goals. You're in a bit of a drought, and then all of a sudden you have 2 or 3 or 4 runner games where you are on form. Even goals are coming off your knee, off your ankle, off your heel, off your shoulder, off whatever, and it's finding the net. So it can go in different ways, and strikers just need confidence. Martial's a confidence player, and I think if he's not playing, it's not good for him, and it's not good for the team, because you just get a half-assed 50% Martial. So yeah, that's again not great to see. I've always been a big fan of his and a big advocate for his talent. Everyone's obviously talked about him being the next Henry or somewhere up in those kind of parameters, but he just hasn't had that confidence, and it just seems to be his attitude for me. I think that's what annoys a lot of people, that it seems to be more his attitude rather than his ability. But it's United's in the Premier League is a tough place to come. You're expected to perform each week, and if you don't perform one week, you're the worst player around, and then next week if you're performing, you're suddenly you're back at it and you're one of the best. But it's a tough sort of acid test really for any sort of player, especially young players coming to a big league. And Martial's been there for a while now. If anything, he should be coming to these years now of his career, 24, 25, 26, where he's had that level of experience in the Premier League. He knows what's expected of him. And he should be kicking on from it, but like I say, it's just not really worked out. So generally, COVID was a bit crap, wasn't it? It still is crap. I'm off to the Wolves game on the 3rd of Jan, R5 kickoff, I believe. At Old Trafford, and I've got to do a lateral flow PCR before I go, which is a pain in the backside, but it's what they're demanding that we do, so that's what we'll have to do. Just be pleased to get there and watch some football, and be back at Old Trafford again. It's been about a month since I was there last, so it'd be nice to get back there and hopefully see us on a bit of form. We're coming off the back of a couple of wins. I think we would have, obviously the Brighton game and the Brentford games got cancelled, which I think would have been a good confidence booster and some good tests there for us as well. But them getting cancelled was a bit unfortunate. But we're going to a Newcastle game that we just need to win. Really, really, really need to win it. I think just for confidence over the Christmas period, the congested fixture list, we just need to win and win comfortably. And I've been saying that for weeks against teams that we're expected to beat. And it hasn't really worked out, but I genuinely think that we need to kick on, and we need to win, and that's it's as simple as that. They're 19th in the table. They're looking like they're going to be going down if they don't make some serious changes in January, which I've heard they're after a Gallo. That's the first thing I've heard this morning. I saw it on Twitter this morning or last night. They're after a Gallo, which should be a good signing for him. I don't think, considering the money they've got, I think it wouldn't be anything groundbreaking. But he did a good job for United. He was a good poacher, got some goals. I thought he did well at United, to be quite honest. And I think he's done better than most. We've just been talking about Martial. I think he put a lot more effort in than the Martial did at times. So, no, I think we need to win that game against Newcastle quite convincingly. I know we're away from home. But the 19th, we just need to steamroll these teams, start getting used to dominating games and steamrolling teams that we're expected to steamroll. Get that confidence back. And at the minute, it's just every game you're going in with a bit of, nervousness and lack of expectation, really. So we genuinely need to sort of get on top of that game quickly. He's got a good squad now. He's got everybody back, pretty much bar Pogba. Martial, you could argue, was not back with the situation that he's got with his agent and stuff, but maybe that'll be resolved. We don't know. I found it very difficult. I think, considering sort of where the rest of the team are at, I'd find it really difficult to expect that Martial's going to jump back in that squad with Greenwood in front of him and Cavani back from injury, Ronaldo there and all those kind of players, and Rashford. So I'd be struggling to Sancho as well. To expect him to find a place in the team, and he knows that. He's looking at that team, looking at that squad, and that's what he's doing. He knows full well that he ain't getting into that team. So he's got a difficult choice as Rangnick, really. A lot of players to choose from. Players like I said before that have come back from injury now. That we didn't have Cavani before. He spoke quite highly of Cavani several times as Rangnick, and would he be tempted to start him on on Monday, and up front with Ronaldo, or just sitting in behind. I don't think he'll do that. I think if he's got any sense, and I think most professional teams these days, regardless of the stature, don't rush players back into matches these days. I think those days have sort of gone when players are back to training and then next minute they're playing the match the weekend. I think Cavani will probably show, depending on how the game's going. I can't see him starting personally. We'll have to see. But yeah, so expectations. I mean, we'll have a quick look at the squad, the formation that I think is something roughly that he will play. But as I say, it's such a difficult thing to pick from, because it's just the formations. I think Rangnick is starting to get to a position now where he knows what he wants to play. He's limited in certain options. Obviously, he's limited in his midfield, so he's got to play a fairly compact midfield, so that we don't run the risk of conceding goals. And I think he's only going to have to play that way until we get that resolved, where we get in a position where we need to go, more expansive and more attacking and more open. He's going to still have to play, the Freddie McTominays and Matic is in there to keep it compact. So let's have a quick look at the formation. So this is what I think he'll roughly play. I think Wan-Bissaka's back. I don't think Wan-Bissaka will play again for similar reasons to Cavani, where I genuinely just think Cavani will. He won't rush him back into the game. I don't think he'll rush Wan-Bissaka back into the game. And Dallow's done nothing wrong, so for those two reasons, I can't see Wan-Bissaka playing. I can see Dallow playing on the right. I can see Varane playing though. I think Varane, Varane's been back a while now, and I think he would have been back in one of the other two games, either at Brentford or more likely at Brighton. But obviously those two games got cancelled, so I do genuinely feel as if Varane would have been back and playing in one of those two games. So I definitely think he will be playing against Newcastle. He's been back training, I think, for a number of weeks now. It's been 3, maybe even 4 weeks. Definitely been 3 weeks. He's been back training on grass for a while. So I genuinely do think we will see Varane back on Monday. Sitting in with Maguire, who's done fine since he's had a little bit of a slump in form. I think the last few games he's played have been okay, and he's been good. Again, we need more clean sheets. I think we could do with trying to shut up shop a little bit, and we really need to aim for a clean sheet, especially against Newcastle. We can't be leaking goals against Newcastle, and the first game we played against them, which everyone will recall because it was Ronaldo's first game. It was up and down, topsy-turvy game. They got back level. It was just... And they broke on us on the counter. I think with their second goal, was it? Who scored it? Was it... I forgot who scored their second goal, but the counter-attack was just unreal. So fast, so quick. I mean, inch-perfect passing. That's Newcastle doing that to us, so we really need to be careful of that. And that's something we've been consistently weak at it all season. So again, he's got to be mindful of that. I mean, Varane there will be a massive bonus there. So Varane sitting in there with Maguire. Shaw left. I can see Shaw playing. It could go Tellez. I think with Shaw being back fit, I think Shaw's always going to be first choice left back. So I think Shaw's going to definitely be sitting in there. Hopefully he'll get most of the ball, start dictating it. And then what we're seeing from these big clubs now is that these positions are so vital in dominating the ball and dominating the play. Cancelo at Man City and Walker, Reece James at Chelsea and, Trent at Liverpool and Robertson as well at Liverpool. So, these positions are so key. It's usually positions where those players get the most touches of the ball. The crossing from deep. They're just absolutely vital, and Shaw's been vital for us at times this season, last season when he was playing those crosses in, and that's what we need to keep on doing. Our weakness, as I keep on saying, and I think United fans know, is our right hand side. So weak. We're getting in crosses on the left sometimes for me not enough, but we're not doing it enough on the right hand side, and that's something that we need to sort of seriously iron out and start doing more of, to be quite honest. So hopefully Shaw again kicks on, finds a little bit of form. He was a little bit off form as well recently, so come back from injury. I think he will most likely be playing. I think Freddie McTominay will sit in that midfield. I think that's pretty obvious that's going to happen. I think Fred's been playing quite well under Rangnick recently. He's found a little bit of his purpose and reason for why he's at United, and that's to break up the play. Still making mistakes. I think he could give it a little earlier. Could when he's winning that ball, he needs to be making the right choice and decision from there, playing it forward, playing it into midfielders, short, or not trying stupid crossfield balls or intricate little silly passing when it's not needed or not required. So I do genuinely think that he found a little bit of a purpose as Fred, and I think equally he'll kick on and be quite good for us the rest of the season if he's able, I think, Rangnick, to get a midfielder to complement him in there. At the minute we don't have that. We've just got another Fred in McTominay, and we've got another one in Matic. Really, he's past it. He's a bit more of a ball player, but we need somebody in there who can complement Fred. I.e., when Fred's winning that ball, he's there asking for it. People would say, well, who's out there available? It's a good question. I don't know. I'm sure Man United have got the targets at the minute, and I could name a lot of players who would fit that mould. But I suppose you've got to get players who are a little out of favour or looking for a new challenge, especially at the time of the year that you're looking to get them in January. It's a difficult period. Albeit we did get Vidic, didn't we, in January, or Evra as well. So, it was two major signings for us there in Christmas, but that was Fergie, and Fergie knew what he was doing. So we'll see. I think we get a ball playing midfielder in that position, and he suddenly it transforms our midfield completely and transforms us going forward. That transition from defence to attack. But I definitely think Fred and McTominay will be sitting in there and playing together. I think Bruno, I think it's more like a 4-2-2-2 this, and I think it transforms when you're in attack. So genuinely think that it's more of a 4-2-1-1 or a 4-2-3-1 really. So it's more like back four, Freddie McTominay, and then you've got Greenwood, Bruno, Sancho, and Ronaldo up front. But when the attack forms, you get this. I think you get this transition where Bruno splits with Sancho, Greenwood sort of supports Ronaldo a little bit more, and then we move forward from there. So I think, as I say, I think Bruno and Sancho will be playing those roles. Sancho's obviously done brilliantly since he's turned a bit of a corner with Rangnick coming in. Bruno still needs to find a little bit of form for me. I really don't feel like he's been anywhere near the sort of levels that he was at last season, and I do think that's because of Ronaldo. Not purposely his fault. I think it's just probably the pressure that comes with Ronaldo, and I think he's often tries to find him too much a little bit than being a little bit selfish and going on his own on a couple of occasions, or just trying to be a little simpler. I think sometimes he seems to rush it, or he seems to try a little bit too hard, and he seems to force it a bit. And he pushed him out of form as Bruno, but with how good he actually is and what he can do, he's always going to be on that team sheet. One of the first names on the team sheet as well, isn't he? So just needs a little bit of good fortune, I think, tomorrow. And I think it's a game where he scored in that game last time, a great goal from distance. He can do it again. So he scored a few, didn't he? Did he score an hat-trick in that game? Was that the game Bruno scored an hat-trick? Was it that game? No, it was a Leeds game, wasn't it? Yeah, but he did score from distance, didn't he, Bruno, in that game? Try to remember now, off the top of my head. But yeah, so big game for Bruno again. Another big game for Sancho. And them two really are shining lights, really, in terms of expecting them to do something creative for the players up front. And I think that will be Greenwood and obviously Ronaldo's going to be playing. But it's a toss-up there between like Greenwood. Does he play Rashford? Does he even start with Cavani? I don't think he'll start with Cavani. I think it's too early for Cavani to be starting off the back of an injury. He might feel like he's fit enough and get him straight in. I genuinely don't see that happening. I think it screams for Greenwood to play. I don't think he's done anything wrong, and I think he should be playing. And I just think Rashford's been way off form for a long period of time. Not this season entirely, like last season as well. He's just been so off form, and I think because he's a bit of a household name, he's been given him more of a benefit of the doubt than a Martial would, or even Sancho when he's come in. He's been given so much leeway by the fans and by the management that I just feel like it's been a little unjust and a little unfair that Rashford's been given so much game time when there's other players who've done a lot less badly than he's done, and I've had a lot less game time. So do think Greenwood will start that game. And then obviously the big man Ronaldo up front, where he scored 2 in his first game back for United in that fixture at Old Trafford, and I won't put it past him to get another couple in this game. If he gets a service, we've all said it, and we all know that he'll score goals, and that's a problem at the minute that we're finding, that he's not getting enough service. The Norwich game, he was. Let's be honest, he was dreadful. Trying to drop back and do build up the play and do things that he's not there to do, which is like hold up the ball, get other people into play. He's not there to do that. He's there to be putting his head on the end of something, putting his foot on the end of something, be played through on goal. And we're not doing enough of that for him. When he got that against Newcastle in the first game, Shaw played that ball through to him for his second to put us back in the lead, and he's put it away. It was ridiculous. So again, we need to do more of that. That's got to be the plan, to try and get ourselves wide, try and get balls into Ronaldo, and that's got to be the ultimate plan. But really looking forward to this one. I really think we deserve a little bit of good fortune. The games recently have been a little bit. Well, I say we deserve it. I suppose we haven't played well enough, but I think as fans we deserve to see a good performance and to see a few goals, and it'd I think it just put a real nice end to the year for us as United fans, isn't it? So yeah, that'd be fantastic. I think we got Burnley on the 30th, I think it is. So a couple of games before the end of the year, but big one against Newcastle to put some positive spin on what's been a pretty up and down season, and with Ollie leaving, Ollie getting the sack, Rangnick coming in, obviously a few players getting injuries and then getting doubts about whether they're leaving, and it all been a bit up and down again, and we've been there before. So hopefully Rangnick's kind of steadied the ship a little bit and got it sailing in the right direction, and hopefully now we'll be seeing some decent performances and some decent results. We're not far off the top 4th place now after those last few games. I think we would have been a lot even closer having played Brentford and Brighton. We just need performances now. Results are great. We want to see results. We want to get points on the board. Ultimately, it's all about winning, but we do want to, as fans as well, see a good performance. And I think we've been starved of that a little bit recently. So, just finally on that as well. So, just on a few other things. So we talked a bit about Martial. Alanga have been offered a new contract at United, so that's a positive step forward. I haven't seen enough of him really. Bit of an odd one, giving him a new contract. Don't know how much of his last contract he was had expired, or how far before it had expired, should I say. So did he have a year left on it? Did he have 2? What was the situation there? Did they feel like they didn't want to risk losing him to another club if they didn't sign him and get him another contract? So not sure on the terms or the length. just yet. I think it was a 3-year contract. So yeah, but Alanga signed a new contract at United, so that's fairly positive there for everybody who thinks Alanga's got a future at United. Personally, I think it's a difficult thing to do these days at any club, but yeah, especially at United, we haven't seen a lot of talent come through the ranks really, unfortunately, and prosper. You know, Rashford's probably the only real one that's done that sort of recently. McTominay obviously getting game time as well, but you know, are they hitting the heights that we kind of would expect? No, probably not, and that's a bit of a shame. And you know, as Alanga shown enough in bit part performances where you think there's something about this kid. He looks good. He looks quick. He looks like he's got something about him. So positive, I think, overall for United fans, and congratulations to sort of Alanga for that contract extension as well. So talked a bit about Pogba. I don't really want to talk much about Pogba, mainly because I think, what is it to talk about? It's the same stuff that we've already talked about before. Same stuff that you hear every year. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? I've word now that, you know, some of the signings that Rangnick might be getting in summer, and possibly some of the signings, or one or two signings he's going to bring across in January, maybe. It's going to be enough to keep Pogba interested, which, I mean, do we care whether Pogba's interested or not? It's not. The club isn't there to keep, you know, Pogba entertained. So, I mean, for me, the last few games we played, those games screened out for somebody like Pogba in it. And I just feel like a little bit, I mean, I know he's done whatever he's done to his hamstring, but before it was his ankle, wasn't it? Or his Achilles last season. And it just seems to be constantly, conveniently around times where the transfer window is around the corner. So, you know, from a mental perspective, he's let us down a little bit. And I think he's a class footballer. I think he's got a big future at United, and I think we've really, really missed him over the last few games, where we just needed that little bit of class and creativity. You know, at the start of the season, he was on fire, and we could really do with him. Obviously, he's not available for the Newcastle game. I doubt he'll be available a few days later for the Burnley game. But will he be back in the new year? Probably play him in the cup game. I think it's Villa. I think it's a 10th. Don't think I will see him at the Wolves game. I think, you know, you're looking at probably second week in January when we'll see him back potentially. So if he wants to stay, as United always are, there's always a place for him. We do rate him. The footballing world does rate him, and to let somebody of that quality go would be a huge loss to us as a team. So, you know, we can't see that happen, and he's the other piece of that puzzle really that we're missing. You know, you put Pogba where McTominay stood now, and that team, you like to think it transforms. You know, Fred's winning the ball, giving it to Pogba. Pogba's playing those cutting edge passes into those killer positions into Bruno or Sancho or Greenwood, and getting it through to Ronaldo. It's the makings of a very good side. So, but it's just whether Pogba's head and heart's in the team, in the club, generally in this football. Does he just want to play standard football for the rest of his career? You know, go to Italy and just play, have 2 or 3 games where they're tough all season, and the rest of the games are just a breeze. I don't know, but we'll see. As I say, with Pogba in the side, it's always it's more of a threat, and it's more potent with him in the team. So yeah, we'll have to just see. But yeah, ultimately, that's the situation. I think that's the team it will roughly go with. Potentially, we might see Tellers instead of Shaw. We might not see Varane start. I'd be surprised. Greenwood might not start, but I think it's genuinely what the team will play. Yeah, so I'm expecting. I'll be honest, I'm expecting 2-0 United. I've been saying that when we're expecting to win, but I'm expecting 2-0 United. I'm hoping for more. I'm hoping for a clean sheet, and I'm hoping for more than 2. But as we know, a lot of the time we struggle to break down teams that sit back against us. So if Newcastle have got any sense, they will not come out against United and try and outplay them. They'll wait for those moments to counter like they did last time and counter against us and hope they get a result. But if United are clever enough, we just got to trust ourselves in possession, trust putting those balls in the box, trust that somebody's going to be on the end of it, and just basically just trust your teammates a little bit more in situations where there's a pass on. Give it, don't retain it, don't go sideways or backwards. Give it forward, give it in. If somebody's calling for it in those positions that are dangerous, give it. We lose it, we win it back. So yeah, optimistic for Monday. Hoping for 2, as I say, and hoping for a clean sheet, but we'll have to see. So if you have watched or do watch this back, guys, then I appreciate it. Christmas Day, so I'm going to get off. Get something to eat soon. Get a shower. Get all changed and nice. Smelling nice. And catch you in the next one. I'll probably do a watch-along on Monday, Boxing Day. If I don't go out and watch the game. Might go out and watch the game. If I do, then I won't be doing a watch-along. But other than that, guys, I really appreciate it if you've watched, or if you watch it back. I would really appreciate it. Hit a like if you do like what I'm doing. Drop a comment if there's something you want to say or ask a question or something I'm not doing quite right or you want to see. Then drop a comment in and I'll respond. And subscribe if you can. More subscribers means more viewers, which means we can discuss more about things that are coming up with United and get a bit more of a debate on this channel. So, thanks guys. Thanks for watching if you do watch. And I'll catch you in a couple of days' time. Merry Christmas, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your day. See you later.